Hi, welcome to part 2 of our whole body work in and vision help. So when you're ready, come to lie on your back. We're going to start with the same scan. So you're going to lie down and just listen to my voice. I won't be demoing much of the lesson, but at every prompt I will demo so you can see how to move. For now, just rest on your bed or on a surface that's comfortable. You can even choose to be unseated and redirect what I'm saying for your comfort. Assuming you're on your back, let your arms come down by your sides, and if it's comfortable, let your legs be long. And just notice the places as you rest where you make clear contact, where you feel support from the floor, and where your body is pressing into the floor, we could say. Where are those places that feel pressed and into the floor? And notice those places that are a little pressed, but not much, somewhere in between. And then bring your attention to the places that are lifted. Maybe they're well supported, but they're lifted from the ground, and just feeling those places that have no contact with the floor behind you. So there will be places where it's clear, where it's almost clear, and places where you know you're lifted. And in some places you're lifted and in some you're pressed. And that's just the physics of the body. But we're going to make it easier for you to spread out your weight with less pressing and have more of yourself on the floor throughout this lesson. But noticing where you are now in the beginning is important for the end. So feel the weight of your shoulders across your back and how they contact the ground. And can you sense any breathing back there in your shoulders? In the back. And feel the weight across the back of your pelvis. And can you sense any breathing there? Any resonance of breath, any expansion, or any sensation of breath behind your pelvis? And then check behind your head. Do you feel any sensation of breath behind your head as you breathe? And bring your attention now to your right heel, noticing how it contacts the floor. Sensing and feeling your right heel and your right calf, your right knee, your right thigh, and your right hip joint and buttock. And then get a sense of the whole right leg from heel to hip joint or heel to buttock. Just get a sense of the weight and length, maybe even the width, the height. Notice what you notice about your right leg and its shape. And then bring your attention to your left heel, noticing your left heel and how you sense and feel that. And now your left calf, your left knee, your left thigh, and your left hip joint or buttock. And get a sense of the length from the heel to the hip joint or buttock on the left now with the left leg. Maybe you notice not only the length, maybe the volume, the size, the sensations. Bring your attention now to both legs and notice any differences between them. As we notice differences, we're not looking to make judgments, but distinctions. The moment we can make distinctions between one side and another, or one thing and another, without going further into it, the nervous system takes care of the rest of balancing it out. Often we go beyond noticing, and then we get stuck in a loop of our own thoughts and our own story. The moment we can just say, this is this, and that is that, our nervous system and brain and body take care of the rest. So as you continue to sense the differences between your two legs, notice if one is closer to the middle and one is further away from the middle, the midline of you, that is. Notice if one is longer or shorter, wider or thinner. And if one feels more whole or has more sensation or connection, notice that. Is there a difference in your toes? And now feel the weight across the back of your pelvis and how you rest there. And notice if you can sense any breathing happening in this area behind your pelvis. And now look across your shoulder blades, feeling how they rest. And once again, look for breath here. Is there breath behind the shoulder blades where they rest on the ground? Can you sense any resonance of breathing? Does your breath make it back there? Interestingly enough, our lungs are 2/3 into the back of our body. So when we breathe and we feel it in our back, we are breathing in a way that's conducive for health and nervous system regulation. But without forcing, just noticing, what can you sense? And now behind your head, feeling the weight. Can you sense any breath there? If you can't, what would it feel like if you did? And notice how the back of the head, the back of the shoulders, and the back of the pelvis contact the ground together, and how they may or may not be receiving some kind of breath. Again, there's no right or wrong. Whatever your experience is, that is right. So we just check and investigate. And begin to notice your shoulders, and if they press into the floor in the same way, or if the right one is heavier than the left, looking again to make a distinction without judgment. Is one more comfortable than the other? And then notice your right arm and left arm. And if you had a more comfortable shoulder, what does the arm feel like on that side compared to the other side? What's the difference? And we're always looking for quality. So always looking for quality, never quantity. The quality of how you rest. And then begin to let all of those distinctions go and just notice your breath. Notice how you're breathing. And here you just allow the breath to come and go and just observe without interference, without control. Letting go of specific attention, letting it be global. And notice if you feel more breath in the belly or the ribs. Where do you sense you're breathing the most? What about in your nose? And breathing without strain should be simple, but sometimes we have habits that have conditioned us to breathe like we are stressed when we're not. So allow the breath and see how it naturally unfolds. And then notice if your jaw is soft, and if not, let it be soft. Let the teeth not be clenched, and let there be space in the mouth. Allow for space in the mouth. Soften your hands, and soften them some more. And as you breathe, notice your entire right side from heel to head. Just sensing lightly your entire right side. And anything you notice about its comfort, how it rests, whatever is interesting to you. And then bring all of your awareness to your left side. and notice your left side, and you may notice differences or similarities or something new on this side. The entire left side from heel to head. Let go of that and just feel your whole body and its contact once again. And now begin to make a movement of rolling the head a little bit right and left. Now your legs can be long. You can always bring them to standing for comfort. I'm going to demo the movement, but you're just going to roll the head in one direction and the other. And you don't have to go far. So continue to roll the head from side to side on your back. And go small with this movement. It's not a big movement, but make it smaller. The idea is to find the easiest way. So you want to go very small, beginning with something very gentle. We want to teach the body from the moment we move, this is going to be pleasurable. And notice as you go to one side, there's a place that says stop, and you reverse. Now, we often don't pay attention to these because in our environment, we're taught to override like all of these signals. So the subtle signal of when to stop, it's going to happen way before you experience discomfort. So you want to stay within an easy range and don't go even near anything that feels uncomfortable. No forcing, no effort at all. Feel how the back of your head rolls on the ground. No effort. Easy and slow. Don't be successful. That's huge. We're experiencing. We're not trying to succeed at all. So don't succeed. Find your quality of movement. Find a quality where you don't have to strain as you roll the head, giving yourself permission to be comfortable as you roll the head. Knowing it's very different from when you're pushed or strained in your outside environment to go to the max. Here we do the opposite, the very beginning, because that's where all the magic lies. And in doing that, we can handle those other situations so much better. Rolling the head and going to the easy and to the comfortable and to the pleasurable. And then the next time the face is toward the ceiling, rest on your back, pausing the rolling of the head. And as you rest, once again, feel the contact you make with the floor now. Each time we do this process, we take a lot of rest to integrate. And the rests are just as important as when we move. When we experience sensitive sensations, we need to process what's learned to integrate it so that we can use it in our daily life, which makes us feel better, move better, and live better. So the brain is learning through the motor cortex, which is controlling our movements. And that learns by sensing differences, as we just did, comparing. And that controls all of our movements. And this is something we did when we were kids. We learned to walk, we learned to crawl in this way. And when we were tired, we took a nap. We never pushed past what we could do. It was hard, but we rested. When you're ready, stand the legs and find a place where the feet are really comfortable. So you're going to stand the legs and make sure that if you let go of your thigh muscles, they don't fall out or in. So I'm going to show you if your thigh muscles are falling out where you have your feet, you need to put your feet further out so they're stable. If your thigh muscles are falling in, you need to put your feet closer together. So find this place where you can have the legs stacked where they're not falling in or out, but they're rather just there, fully resting. Sometimes it takes a moment to find this place. And as soon as you find it, we're going to change it by crossing the left leg over the right in such a way that the right thigh is resting completely on the left leg. The left foot is on the floor. And just rest like this for a moment, letting the weight of the right leg sink into the left. If this is not possible for you, use an ankle instead. But for everyone else, if you can, this is the way to cross the legs. We say no daylight between because they're crossed. From here, begin to make a movement of pouring your knees to the right and back. And go slow. Continue to do this movement. Legs are crossed. Pour your weight to the right and back. And just rewind if you need to see that again. I'm going to keep going as you keep making this movement. So repeating the movement slowly, but allow each movement to be fresh and new. So you pause right in the center there. And you're moving slowly and gently to the right as you pour, and then you're coming back to neutral. And you're just doing a little bit, not going into the furthest range you can. That's not why we're doing this. That's why I teach yoga, so we know not to do that by using our bodies, because we're more flexible when we start this beginning movement. So keep pouring your legs over to the right just a little bit, pausing in the neutral place, and that helps you let go of any holding before you begin a new movement. Each time the movement is new, the brain picks up new and interesting information to incorporate into how you move, into how you feel because of how you move. Grow this movement into a range of comfort if it gets larger. Grow it with comfort. Don't grow it with straining or pushing. And you might need to adjust your left foot if it feels like it might be more comfortable, closer in another position. Try moving your left foot to see if it makes it easier to pour your legs to the right. Finding a range of movement that is easy, pleasurable, and comfortable. And feel how the pressure changes under your left foot as you pour your legs to the right. And when you come back, it balances in a neutral place, coming all the way back to that neutral place of the left foot. The next time you come back there, pause and rest and let everything go, meaning you can uncross your legs, you can let them go long or keep them in standing. And you can rest your arms by your sides if they're not already there. When you rest and let everything go, in this letting go, you go back to feeling yourself and your contact with the floor, just briefly.